Hello guys, welcome to packy.com.bd. This video I will show you how to feed cockatiels baby. If you find yourself having to feed your baby cockatiels because the parents have abandoned them, or you chose to hand feed because you want them to become tame, then you must fully understand what you need to do. Feeding on freshly hatched until they are old enough to feed themselves will be your biggest challenge. First of all, we need to establish in our minds that as owners, we can want to help too much and sometimes take over too soon. You should allow the parents to feed their baby cockatiels for as long as they can. Nothing can replace the true nature of this process. When should you start feeding? First of all, are you wanting to hand feed them? If so, then around 3 weeks is a good time to start. If you remove them from the nest, you will need to set up a brooder, a purpose-made nesting box that you control the temperature of and the feeding times. You will need to get all the utensils that are listed below. If you notice that at any stage the parents have given up feeding, you will need to step up and take over. Also, keep a close eye on the nest. You may have a few baby cockatiels hatch, and some will become stronger than others quicker. The weak one will end up not being fed enough. It's nature, only the strongest survive. This is the time that you need to help out. It will be very daunting at first, and you probably will struggle, but do not give up as the survival of this little cockatiel is in your hands now. If you are able to get a helping hand, all the better. What you need when feeding baby cockatiels. Baby formula. This is specifically designed for feeding and rearing baby cockatiels. China or metal bowl to mix the formula in. Syringes with small spouts. Long spouts can damage the baby's mouth. Feeding spoon. Thermometer. Hot water bottle. Tea towel. Scales. Tissues. Hot water. Hand and tracking chart. When hand feeding baby cockatiels, the most important points to adhere to are A. The amount that you feed them, and B. How often you feed them. The crop is where the cockatiel stores the food. When young, it is clearly visible, and you must be vigilant and observe the size of the crop. Each time the baby cockatiel feeds, its crop will enlarge, swell up, as the food is digested. A baby cockatiel's crop can only hold a certain amount of food. Be careful not to overfeed, more on that later. As the food gets absorbed into their body, it will shrink in size, a sign that it is growing and actually healthy. The older the cockatiels get week by week, the larger the crop becomes and the less frequent it needs to be fed. Feeding becomes less frequent, but they eat more food. How to hand feed. You will need to get set up before removing the baby from the nest or brooder. We take a clean tea towel and wrap it around a hot water bottle. Boil the kettle and pour some water into a cup. Place in your spoons and syringes so as to kill off any bacteria. Make a small amount of formula ready for feeding. The consistency will depend on the age of the baby cockatiel. Draw some of the food into the syringe. Get the baby out and gently hold it on the water bottle in one hand, keeping it balanced and having its head up. Test the temperature of the food and then gently allow the food to enter the cockatiel's mouth. Do not force the syringe into the mouth and be careful not to squeeze in too much at once. Most of the time the babies will be sounding out for food and moving their heads up high with the mouth wide open, gaping. If this is not the case, you will have to entice it to eat. Do this by gently tapping the beak with the syringe until it opens up for a feed. Use a separate syringe for each of your birds just in case one of them has an underlying sickness that can be easily transferred to the other cockatiels. It is possible that some cockatiels actually stop showing interest in eating when the crop is full. If that is the case, then lucky you. Many won't and will keep screaming for food. If you are feeding well, watch carefully that the food actually keeps entering the esophagus and does not back up in the mouth. Always allow your birds to swallow at a gentle pace. When you are convinced that enough food has been administered, check the crop and make a note of the time and weight of your bird on your tracking chart. You should notice that they are growing in weight each day. Clean off any residue of food from the beak and skin of the baby cockatiel. Use a soft tissue with warm water to help. Now return your baby cockatiel to the nest or brooder. Remember to clean up immediately and keep all the utensils in one place. Discard any leftover food. Always prepare fresh each time you feed. Never reheat used baby formula. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel.